Imagine you are stranded on a deserted island with 100 other people. Very quickly, you all realize you need a safe place to sleep, warmth for the night, and a steady supply of food to survive. But look around. You only have a handful of usable tools. The sun goes down at the exact same time every day, limiting how long you can safely work. And there are only so many trees you can cut down before the forest is gone. This friction is what we call scarcity. As human beings, our desires are virtually unlimited. We want endless comfort, entertainment, and safety. But our physical resources, the time, the materials, and the energy we have to achieve those desires, are strictly limited. Even a wealthy nation with trillions of dollars in the bank faces this exact same problem. Because resources are finite, a government still has to choose whether to build a new hospital or a new highway. Scarcity means that every choice has a cost. Because we cannot have everything we want all at once, we have to invent a system to decide how to use what we actually have. That system of choices, the way we organize survival and comfort, is what we call an economy. Before our islanders can build anything, they have to take inventory of their 3 core ingredients. These are the building blocks used to create everything in a society. The first ingredient is land. This is the natural foundation of the island. The timber in the trees, the fresh water in the streams, the soil for planting crops, and the fish in the bay. The second ingredient is labor. This is the total amount of human effort and skill available. It's limited by the number of people on the island and how many hours they can work before they need to rest. The third ingredient is capital. These are the tools and equipment you create to make the work easier. An axe, a woven fishing net, or a stone fire pit helps a worker catch more fish or cut more wood in less time. Having these ingredients is a start, but they don't produce results on their own. The islanders need a set of rules and a way to coordinate their efforts to actually build the things they need. To create those rules, the islanders have to hold a meeting. They need to answer 3 questions that every society on Earth faces, whether they realize it or not. First, what should we produce? With limited wood and time, you have to choose. If you spend your day building weatherproof huts, you won't have the resources left to build fishing boats. Second, how should we produce it? If you choose boats, do you use 10 people carving logs by hand, or do you take the time to build a pulley system so 2 people can do the same job while the others gather food? Third, who gets what we make? Once the fish are caught, how are they divided? Do you give everyone an equal share? Do you give more to the sick? Or do you give the most to the people who did the heavy lifting? There are no perfect mathematical answers here. The choices a group makes simply reflect what that specific society values most, whether it's total equality, individual reward, or group survival. The way those questions get answered defines the economic system. One way is to have a single island chief who dictates all the answers. This is a command economy, where a central authority plans exactly what is made and who gets it. This system allows a government to move resources toward massive projects very quickly. If the state decides it wants a massive military, it can build one. But this often ignores what people actually need for daily life. It is incredibly difficult for planners to know what millions of people want. Historically, trying to plan every detail leads to severe shortages. You end up with people waiting in long lines for basic necessities because the planners guessed wrong. The other approach is a market economy. Here, answers emerge from millions of people trading voluntarily. They use prices as a guide. If everyone wants coconuts, the price rises. That higher price tells gatherers it's worth their time to go find more. Most modern nations don't pick just one extreme. They use a mixed economy. They let the market handle most of what we buy, but they use the government to provide shared needs that a market doesn't always provide well, like schools, roads, and emergency services. Every economic system is just a different way of balancing these 2 forces, the freedom of the market and government coordination, to handle the problem of scarcity. If you take that island system and scale it up to include billions of people, you have the world we live in today. At its heart, an economy is the way a society works together to turn what it has into what it needs, and then decides who gets the final results. Many people think the economy is like a fixed pie, where someone else's gain is your loss. But when we trade or invent better tools, we create new value. The pie actually grows, meaning there is more for everyone to share. Take this steam engine. It allowed one person to do the work of 100 horses. When tools like this make us more efficient, we can produce more food and clothes in less time. That extra time and abundance are what allow living standards to rise for everyone. We also have to be careful not to confuse the economy with the stock market. A stock index only measures the financial value of big companies. It doesn't always show the real economy, the actual daily work, production, and quality of life for regular people. The economy is not a living person or a confusing math equation. It is simply the sum of billions of human choices, as we all try to make the best of the limited resources we have. Now that you understand how the economic machine is built, we can look at what makes it move. What happens when we pour the fuel,